Pretend it is Monday at noon, and you do a select statement from your customer table, and you see you have two customers, Mattress King and Kusharama with a K. Now, is it guaranteed that that data will never change? Or maybe on Tuesday, you land a brand new account called Fluff and Stuff from Bedford. Let's run that. And now when you run this exact same query, you see you have 3 records. So if the boss comes up to you and says, "Can you run a query of exactly what the sales.customer table looked like at noon?" That's what a database snapshot can do. It's like taking a picture of your database, all of the data as it was that point in time. Then you can start adding data, and then you can compare your real-time data with the point-in-time snapshot that you took. That's what this lab is all about. Before you can create a snapshot of your database, you need to know the name of the database and where all of its data is stored. In other words, you need to be familiar with where the MDF and any of the NDFs are stored. Well, let's look at the database we want to take a snapshot of, Radisco, and let's get the properties of Radisco. Now let's look at where the MDF file is and what it's called. The name of the MDF file is Radisco, so it's not Radisco data, it's just Radisco, which is the exact same name of the database. Now that's not always the case, so it's good to note the name of the database as well as the name of the file that holds all the database. With that in mind, let's state that the creation of a snapshot database is almost identical to that of the creation of a regular database. At least it starts out the same. Create database followed by the database name. And we'll call this Radisco_Monday_noon. Now, if we just ran this, it would create an empty database with that name and not actually a snapshot, which appears here. Well, we don't want an empty database. We want a database that is a snapshot of the Radisco database. So let's delete this and put a little more verbiage in here to get the job done. We're going to say on, and in the on, you need to specify the name of the MDF file you are copying. Down here, you're going to say this as a snapshot of Radisco. In the parentheses, what you need to do is you need to say the name is equal to, and do you remember the logical name of the MDF file? Sometimes it might be called Radisco data, and sometimes it's just named after the database. In this case, Radisco. So we'll say Radisco, comma, and where are we going to store our new snapshot, our new files? Well, snapshots don't create MDF files, they create snapshot files. So it would look like this. We're going to say file name is equal to C:\SQL Radisco snapshot Monday noon.ss. Let's run this. It says commands completed successfully. There is now, under the database snapshot folder, a Radisco Monday noon. Let's open up a new query window. Change it to the context of the Radisco Monday noon, and go select star from sales.customer. And that's identical to the data that we see from the current Radisco sales customer table. Let's run this. These two result sets are exactly the same at this point. Well, the snapshot is not going to change no matter what data comes in later. But the database is designed to change, so let's make a change to the Radisco sales customer table by editing one of the records. Let's change Kusharama to Kush with a C, no K in it anymore. And let's capitalize the R in Rama and capitalize the A. Couple minor changes, but changes nonetheless. Let's close out of here, run both of these queries. You'll notice that this reflects the current state of the Radisco database, and this first one represents the snapshot at the time we took it. So how do we find the differences between what has happened since the snapshot and what is happening now? Well, let's alias this first one as snap, and let's do inner join and alias the real-time table as src for source. On snap.customerID equals src.customerID. And let's run it. And we can see a join. Now, how do we find out the records that differ? Well, let's just say where the snapshot's customer name is not equal to the source's customer name. Run it. And there's the only record that there has been a change. Lab 2.2 Skill Check 1. Create a database snapshot from the DB Basics database called dbbasics_Monday_noon. When you're done, your screen should resemble the figure you see here. Skill Check 2. Change the last name of Employee 106 from Davies to Santuan. Run a query to show all the changes from the source database employee table and the snapshot employee table. Use the snapshot you created in the first skill check to do this.